It's a bombshell that every American can relate to. The feds monitoring your cell phone and even listening in to your private living room conversations. Those revelations came out when someone inside the CIA leaked thousands of documents to WikiLeaks, the international group that publishes secret information and news leaks. They're calling it Vault 7, information from CIA's Center for Cyber Intelligence in Langley, Virginia. Inside, highly secret documents from 2013 through 2016, nearly 9,000 of them, along with several 100 million lines of computer code exposed to the public. Those covert abilities show that the CIA could infiltrate iPhones and Android phones, simply bypassing encryption programs on those devices and capturing audio and messages. Smart TVs were penetrated by placing them in fake off mode, but they still remained on, able to record conversations, turning TVs into covert microphones. They also conducted false flagged cyber attacks in which the CIA was able to make it look like another country, like Russia, was behind a cyber attack even though it really never was. And the names for some of these cyber programs were straight out of a spy novel: Brutal Kangaroo, Assassin, Hammer Drill, Swindle, and Cutthroat.
The military has announced plans to hire the first division-level Muslim chaplain. Army Lieutenant Colonel Khalid Shabazz is one of only 10 chaplains in the entire U.S. military that's a Muslim. Starting this summer, he will be the spiritual leader of more than 14,000 soldiers, most of whom are Christian. He will serve as chaplain for the Army's 7th Infantry Division at Lewis McChord. Shabazz was raised in a devout Lutheran family and converted to Islam in his early 20s.
And the New York Times reports the White House offered to continue federal funding for Planned Parenthood if the group stops providing abortions. Planned Parenthood's president, Cecile Richards, responded yesterday on Twitter saying, quote, "We won't back down in the face of threats or intimidation."
Well, you don't usually hear about refugees from the United States, but in the first 2 months of this year, about 2,100 people crossed the border to seek asylum in Canada. That's more than double the number a year earlier.
The new version of Disney's Beauty and the Beast is scheduled to debut in 2 weeks. One theater is refusing to show it because it depicts a gay character in the film. Management at the Henniger Theater announced on Facebook Thursday they will not show the film. The owner, Carol Laney, says the movie is in conflict with her Christian beliefs.
Homosexuality is a sin. My salvation isn't about money. It's not about man. It's what God wants me to do.
Carol Laney's Facebook post also said, when companies continually force their views on us, we need to take a stand.
Scott Pruitt, the new head of the EPA, dropped a verbal bomb on the environmental community today, saying this about the role of carbon dioxide emissions in climate change.
So no, I would not agree that it's a primary contributor to the global warming that we see.
It's not the first time Pruitt has hinted he's a climate change denier. Last year, he wrote that the debate is far from settled.
It's an atomic bomb of public information, the first in a WikiLeaks data dump of the largest ever publication of confidential CIA documents dubbed Vault 7 by WikiLeaks. The first chunk of the series, gleaned from the ultra-secure CIA Center for Cyber Intelligence in Langley, Virginia, is 8,761 documents known to the CIA as Year Zero. The gravity of the situation is monumental. As WikiLeaks writes, recently the CIA lost control of the majority of its hacking arsenal. The archive appears to have been circulated among former U.S. government hackers and contractors in an unauthorized manner, one of whom has provided WikiLeaks with portions of the archive. Year Zero introduces the scope and direction of the CIA's global covert hacking program, its malware arsenal, and dozens dozens of zero-day weaponized exploits against a wide range of U.S. and European company products, including Apple's iPhone, Google's Android, and Microsoft's Windows, and even Samsung TVs, which are turned into covert microphones. By the end of 2016, the CIA's hacking division, which formally falls under the agency's Center for Cyber Intelligence, had over 5,000 registered users and had produced more than 1,000 hacking systems, trojans, viruses, and other weaponized malware. Such is the scale of the CIA's undertaking that by 2016, its hackers had utilized more code than that used to run Facebook. The CIA had created, in effect, its own NSA with even less accountability and without publicly answering the question as to whether such a massive budgetary spend on duplicating the capacities of a rival agency could be justified. Essentially, a cyber weapon of the heaviest caliber in the hands of any hacker on planet Earth. Not only has the CIA and its deep state web of political minions kept this total breach of human privacy quiet, they have turned the illegal and compromised Frankenstein monster loose on America's executive branch. Meanwhile, the corporocratic political elite knowingly carried on with the charade that the CIA had proof the Russians were colluding with President Donald Trump, knowing full well that the deep state could counterfeit any trace of hacking, and in turn blaming it on rogue actors to support a seditious coup of the President of the United States.
Because of the seriousness of the accusations involved on all sides of this issue, I want to make sure that we hold as many of these hearings out in public so that the American people and all of you can attend and report on. This is an initial list, but we have Director Comey of the FBI, Director Rogers of the NSA, former Director Brennan from CIA, former Director Clapper, Ms. Yates, former Acting Attorney General.
What they're interested in is warning the American public and the world that the so-called smart appliances, let's say a phone, smart TV, Samsung, Sony, even your smart car, is totally vulnerable to the NSA and in particular the CIA. Now, the NSA always had the mandate for cyber command and cyber warfare. The individual and the institution that never had the command or the mandate was the CIA. It has to release its mandate or it will be prosecuted for crimes against the state. And it has already committed crimes against the state.